I just didn't want to live in a world where we were shooting and killing each other and there weren't enough regulations to do anything about that, so I had to do something.
The Reverend Mary Haggerty is passionate about bringing an end to gun violence in our communities. She's hoping to spread that passion to others in her role as the Diocesan Missioner for Gun Violence Prevention.
One of the things, since the bishop asked me to be the Missioner for Gun Violence Prevention Advocacy, one of the first places I wanted to start was really simply awareness. It isn't simple, with awareness. Gun violence is an issue that we shrug our shoulders and shake our heads and clench our fists because we're angry to see our kids being killed in school and people being killed in churches and shopping malls, but we feel powerless. And so I really wanted to raise awareness that we can use our voice, we can speak up, and particularly as Christians, that our faith belongs in the public square, not in a partisan way. This is a nonpartisan effort. This is an effort to say we have a responsibility to make our communities safe, and that is not a political issue for us, it's a faith issue.
On March 7th, Mary gathered a group of concerned members from throughout the Diocese of Missouri and the Diocese of West Missouri and headed to the state capitol in Jefferson City. They and nearly 200 others joined with Moms Demand Action to lobby lawmakers for common sense gun laws.
Oh, I'm here to support all these wonderful people that are working toward more gun safety. Hopefully we'll get there.
Moms Demand Action is a nonpartisan, grassroots movement of Americans, not just moms, who are fighting for public safety measures to protect people from gun violence. Mary has been part of this group for nearly a decade.
Good morning, Missouri Moms Demand Action!
The day started just a few blocks from the Capitol to learn about the lobbying process and hear stories from people whose lives have been changed forever because of gun violence. Mary says those stories had a big impact on the group.
Absolutely, because it's not about statistics and it's not about numbers of bills on a paper. It's about lives. And so when you see a woman standing up there yesterday who was brave enough to do that, I could cry just thinking about it. We were all in tears, talking about how her sister was killed by gun, and then she tried so hard to protect her daughter, and she was killed in a domestic violence situation. And she said, I am a fighter. I am not going to give up. And that absolutely set the tone for everyone to go into the Capitol with hope that we're working with and for real live, living, breathing people. This isn't just politics or statistics.
Mary and the group of faithful advocates marched to the Capitol.
Not one more!
What do we want?
Sensible gun law!
And led a prayer service on the steps.
We light this candle as we call to mind the many victims of gun violence.
It's the terrible, horrific school shootings and nightclub shootings and the big mass shootings that get a lot of press, and we get very upset about them. But that's another awareness that I'd like to be able to raise. If I remember correctly, the statistics on suicide are that approximately, or somewhere in the neighborhood of 2/3 of gun deaths are suicides. I mean, just think about that for a minute. We sort of ignore that, like, oh, that was suicide. Well, that's a human life extinguished that could have been saved if a gun had been either not in a home or safely locked up away from ammunition. So that's as every bit as horrific, heartbreaking, and important as any other kind of shooting.
After prayers and songs, the advocates split into groups and went inside to talk with lawmakers.
I think that what was encouraging to the people I attended with, and to myself as well, was that we had conversations. We didn't necessarily agree. We can't control how they're going to vote, but they know that we're there, and I think that makes a difference. Today, at this point, in this legislative session, will it change things? I don't think so. I don't think so. It's going to be a slow change. Took a long time to get seatbelts. It took a long time to get drunk driving laws. It took a long time to deal with the public health epidemic of smoking. It's going to take a long time. But little by little, we are whittling away at some of this, and I think making a difference. I am hopeful. I'm a Christian person. I have to be hopeful. I don't have another choice. That's the only way I know how to fully live this life.